How are you enjoying your coffee, Chris? Oh, you haven't had any. I've almost had my whole thermos. It's ridiculous. I'm going to be... No, maybe we won't say that. I might need the toilet on the way home.
Well, I brought myself some Milo today.
Milo?
Milo.
Oh, my goodness. So, Chris, you know, with your bike, and you know how you do a whole lot of trips, what's your favourite sort of trip that you've done, do you reckon?
Well, I've done a few which really stand out. There's the one we did together over in Greece.
That was fabulous.
But that wasn't on our usual bikes.
No, on a couple of mopeds, which were...
Yeah. Underpowered.
which were dreadful, really, but, you know, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it was a good trip. That was a couple of years ago now.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, that was a great trip. That was a good trip. But what about Australia? When you're home, what's your favourite?
Well, I did a really good trip over to Melbourne, over around Victoria, Grampians and the Great Ocean Road with Charmaine.
Yeah.
And she was on her Boulevard and me on my GSX 1250 FA Bandit. And that was a lot of fun. But I always think back to a time, I think it was 2008, 2009, I went down to Tasmania. Most of the trip was a little bit disappointing because it was quite miserable down there, but it was actually my last day on the trip and it was the most enjoyable day riding that I think I've ever had. I hardly came across one single car and it was perfect weather, beautiful roads, magnificent. And that was on my old 750F.
Oh, yeah. We seem to have a big history of Suzuki's, don't we? We've now got you've got the
Bandit?
The Bandit. I've got the GSX S1000.
And you had a Suzuki before your Hornet, didn't you?
Yeah, I had the GS 500, which was great, and I had a GN 250 and a A100. They were all Suzuki's.
Yeah.
I really do love, even though I do it very rarely now, and I'd like to do more of it, is going away with the tent on the back of the bike, short little camping trips for a day or a couple of days, because I work quite a lot. I don't have a lot of time really, but they're the trips that I really enjoy. I think what I really loved, which stands out for me, was the Melrose trip, even though it was -5 and I nearly froze parts of my body off that I would like to keep. That was great. I enjoyed that. We went to... Did we go to Manbrake Creek? Was it Manbrake Creek once?
Yeah, with the other guys.
Yeah, that was good, except... It was the trip was too short, but the only thing I didn't like about that was the ride home, which was raining all the time, and that wasn't enjoyable. We had a trip, I'm not sure whether you were on it, Chris, but down with AM, Adelaide Motorcyclists, a few years ago, where we stayed in the jail, where we went to the jail.
Yeah, that was our first video, one of our first videos together.
Oh, I'm that old that I don't remember stuff.
I think it's on my channel.
That's right.
But you put a bit of it on your channel when we were riding home
yes,
together. And Valda on the back of your
That's
bike. Right,
Valda was on that trip. That was great. And there was another one where Valda didn't come, that we did a similar one as well. But they were those trips where, you know, a long weekend or a couple of days, I do enjoy them. They're fantastic. That's probably my best times on the bike.
You know,
I do a lot of day stuff like this, which is great.
I don't know why I didn't mention this, but my absolutely best trip that I've ever done was over in the mainland of Greece. I caught a ferry from one of the islands over to Kavala in the north of Greece, and then a bus journey down to Thessaloniki. Pretty much the only bike I could afford and hire, and it was a V-Strom.
Another Suzuki, Chris.
Yeah. I researched the trip beforehand, and I've on Best Biking Roads. Have you ever looked at that website?
No.
And it shows you people put reviews of roads that they enjoy riding. And so I went down to Meteora, central part of Greece, where the monasteries are on top of the cliffs there, and then up towards the western border of Greece, and there's a road that goes up through the mountains, which is just, magnificent road to ride on.
Getting out on the bike, even if it's a day trip, is just... What it's done for me is I've learnt so much more about our state, the local areas within our state, because I get out and explore. And it's just fantastic fun, just to go down roads that you're not sure about. Granted, I do have an area which I stick to a lot. But sometimes I will take a road that I don't know. And I've learned so much more about South Australia because of the bike.
You know, one place we should go to?
Where?
Strathalbyn.
We've probably been there about 850,000 times. But it's a great... Look, it's not too far. It's a great ride. Nice twisty roads. But it is good to do other stuff.
And it's interesting you were talking about learning the hills and getting to know the hills a lot better, because I grew up in the Adelaide Hills near Stirling, and since riding the bike, there's roads that are right near where I used to live that I knew nothing about, and it's not until I started riding that I saw more of the hills.
I think my favourite out of all of them is probably the short touring trips. Then the short rides for the, during the day, twistier roads with a few nice bends. I really enjoy. I really get bored on a straight, flat road. I find that a bit tedious. But where there's a few bends, beautiful scenery like we have here. I mean, look at that. It's amazing. Look at those beautiful bikes. And the vineyards and everything. It's the Adelaide, South Australia is just brilliant. Look at the weather. It's fantastic. Get out on your bike, go and see places that you haven't seen before. Take a friend if you haven't got one, just rent one. Rent a friend's good, they have good specials. But just take a friend, take a group of friends, go on your own, it doesn't matter. Get out on your bike. You don't have to go quick. Always ride at your own pace. Always ride at your own pace. Stay safe. And enjoy it. What do you think?
Yeah, good. It's interesting you were talking about you prefer you find the straight roads quite boring.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm just want to get on the bike, and like when I go over to Melbourne, for example, I've done that a few times, just getting on the freeway, and it's a straight road, and a lot of people find that boring, but I just it's kind of like almost meditation for me, and I quite enjoy that.
The trouble with that though sometimes, and it sounds odd, but you can lose concentration because it's just straight and whatever. I've never lost concentration on the bike. In a car you can, because you're sitting in like a lounge chair and you don't have the wind blasting past you. But on a bike I've never... But you're not as switched on as if you're doing the twisties and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I haven't fallen asleep on a bike or anything, but there are times where I'm not as switched on as I have.
I can't say I've never been not switched on when I'm riding. Even on the longest, most boring road, I'll sing a song in my head before I had the BTS too.
Really? Or sing it in your head?
In my head,
oh, okay.
Or actually, no, sometimes out loud.
Oh, no. I've heard that.
But, with the BTS too, we've spoken about it before. We can play music and helps pass the time. But, I don't mind a long, boring, straight road. It's kind of like it's just you, the bike, the road, and just you can clear your mind, clear your head. You don't have to, So I quite enjoy that. But I enjoy the twisties too.
Yeah.
The twistier the better.
Some twists are a bit too twisty. We've got a road in South Australia called Corkscrew Road. I haven't done it on this bike.
Oh.
And that's very twisty, but it's really twisty, but it's good. All right.
Well, that's our sharing our experiences of our most enjoyable times on the bike, and as you said, get out there, enjoy it.
Having said that, let's go.
Let's go.